Well, in the past, an issue would come up and we would talk about it and nothing would come from it. Nothing would ever happen. So the issue would just continuously stay there and sometimes get worse. Sometimes it'd fizzle out and everything would work out. But when we do it in our leadership meeting, we identify it, we discuss it, and we solve it. So that's one thing that comes out of our meeting, leadership meetings that is there's not even a word for it. It just feels so gratifying and it feels like we're getting stuff done. And even with the leadership now team, like we see an issue that comes up and like, oh, we need to talk about it in our leadership meeting. So it has been able to keep us accountable, know that we have these issues discussed and figure them out together rather than letting just kind of sit there.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Champion Dentist. I am delighted to have with us today Ashley Cooper, and Ashley is the office manager for Dr. Randy Johnson and the Center for Contemporary Dentistry. And I know if you saw the recent episode with Dr. Johnson, this is his counterpart. This is the lady who runs his practice. She's doing an awesome job. And I wanted to give you an opportunity, the guys and gals with us today, to hear from Ashley about her experience in dentistry and about the things that she's experiencing working with me, Mike Kulwiec, and the Champion Dentist Program, and our colleagues also with Gold Medal Dental Marketing. So, Ashley, welcome. I'm so happy you're with us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
And I can see in the background, we're recording this right before the 4th of July coming up.
Yes.
250 years. Oh my God, what a great country we live in. What a blessing we have to be here. So, everybody, hope you have a safe and sane, as they say, for 4th of July full of love and joy. So, Ash, you've been in dentistry for 20 years, I believe, 20 plus years. You started out as an RDA
Yep.
and paid your dues as an RDA, and that's a great place to start in dentistry. And then you graduated up to the world of being an office manager.
Yes.
And so I guess the first question for anybody that is in your role, what is it that you like about your current role relative to what you did before?
I like having all of my hands in all the pots and kind
Okay.
of being able to help in every department that I can, and kind of oversee everybody and just help as much as I can, patients and coworkers.
All right. So here's a question from left field.
Okay.
How much of being a great office manager is there in common with being a great mom, having a 6 and a 7-year-old? What are the common threads there? Tell me.
Everything is common across the board.
How so? Okay, what is it?
I have to be responsible for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm the go-to for everybody. All the
Okay.
questions have to come through me, just like being a mom, mom,
Okay.
mom, mom. So, but I take satisfaction in helping everybody. So I'm the go-to and I'm fine with that. So I'm the go-to at home and I'm the go-to here.
And I think there's another aspect of being a great mom, and maybe even more so sometimes than being a great dad, and that is you know the power of the word no
Yeah.
and the power of the words you need to or
Yeah.
please.
Yes.
So tell me about that. When, being a mom and then also having a 6 and a 7-year-old, let's just touch base on that. How does it come over between the two of just the reality that you have to lead and you have to be willing to provide direction and what do you see as the commonality there in terms of leadership?
I think knowing what's best for the practice, not only for the staff and for the patients, but I know the way it needs to go. So I have to stop, take a second, and realize, okay, what is the best in the scenario for my children and for the office? What's the best? What's the safest? What's the job to get it done? So I have to take a step back and realize what we need to do and how to get it done. And that's why they come to me.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you really understood instinctively, and I think moms know this instinctively as well, and those that are in leadership in work know it, and that is, and it's something that we teach and we've emphasized working together with you and your leadership team, and those are those two words, accountability and discipline, right? And that we have to be accountable, we have to be disciplined in our life, starting with making our bed and folding our clothes, brushing our teeth, and that's true in the world of work. When you think about what we've experienced together thus far, how much of an impact has just the concepts that we've focused on relating to being accountable and being disciplined. How much of an effect has that had on you and your team?
It has had a tremendous effect on us. Before we were kind of just everyone doing their own thing, but now
Mhm.
that we are starting to put systems and protocols in order, it holds everyone accountable for what they know they need to do.
So that's a big difference.
Huge difference.
So when you think about there's six components that we teach in the champion dentist, and then of course we get into the mac into the micro as well. Into the numbers. You can see behind me on my digital whiteboard, know your numbers and KPIs.
Mhm.
So we do both, right?
Right.
We're in the weeds. We're in the black and white of what really allows us to keep score. But when you think about the six components that are there, and we started with values and the vision for the practice, and that was a lot of fun doing it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Because it comes from you, but the fact is that those values actually came from Dr. Johnson, right? And when you got that degree of commonality, okay, the doctor's leading well, the team understands the values, and because the values that you guys verbalized, those were the same things that were already in his head, which is
Mhm.
really great. And that has meaning. And so now you have this lighthouse, right? This guiding light that you can communicate to the entire team, the entire organization. How many people are on the team right now?
We have 18.
18 people, and you're growing, and as we know, we intend to literally double the size of the practice revenue wise within the same facility, ten operatories. When you think about the different components, and let me name them out with you together. We've got vision, we've got people, we've got data, we've got process, we've got issues, and we've got execution. And we've been working together for about 6 months now. Do you have a favorite right now? A favorite of the component of the six components, the one that has had the most meaning for you?
I really liked the vision because
Tell us why.
it put us in the right direction. It kind of put us all on the same track. We are all on the same mindset and we know where we're going to go and what the steps we need to do it. So I like the vision. It was fun and it just kind of pulled us all back together again where we needed to be.
And you have a leadership team. That's one of the things that's important that we have, and that's been established. And we've got two team members from hygiene,
Hmm.
and we have one team member who's an EFTA.
Hmm.
And then we have the person who's actually responsible for your bookkeeping and also the marketing coordinator. And boy, she's doing a great job. That's Candy.
Hmm.
And that's a really important role. It gets overlooked so much.
Yeah.
And it's very important that the practice doesn't have to be a full-time position. But as you know, with what we do with my team at Gold Medal, we really help the practice understand the importance of that role.
Mhm.
And we help the person get the knowledge and understanding that they need so that we're like pair figure skaters. We're really dancing to the music in sync, right? That's really important. So I know you really love the values, and it starts with the values and it starts with the vision, right? But the other one that I want to ask you about is really the number two thing that we get into, which is people, right? And we want the right people in the right seats. So when you think about that component, in the time that we've worked together, is there anything that's really changed your perspective, your paradigm, how you look at people in the organization?
Yeah, I kind of take a step back and I look to see if they're in the right seat, where their strengths are, and where, if they do have a weakness in there, how we can help them improve their seat. So I really do think that it has me take a step back and look at everybody.
Yeah, it also helps when it comes to interviewing, right? I mean, now that you've
Mhm.
got your clear understanding of your values and they're in writing
Yeah.
and the vision, you can sit down with someone who you're interviewing and actually talk about the values
Uh-huh.
and just read a value and say, how does that sound to you? And let them talk about it. And
Mhm.
if they just say, well, sounds good to me, that tells you one thing. And if they wind up talking about it, that's another, right? So I think that's really a valuable thing to have. We've got to have the right people in the right seats in order for us to be able to go from good to great, right? Otherwise, we're just going to be struggling. So let's jump over to another component together, and that is data, right? And numbers. And I know your little ones, I think they're already into sports. Is that right?
Yes.
What are they playing?
baseball and soccer right now and just signed up for basketball.
Well,
So,
I think they'd be pretty bored if they didn't keep score when they
oh
played,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that same thing is true when it comes to life, right? We've got to keep score, both in our family, our checkbooks, or all of that, our expenses. But in business, we need to keep score too. And so I want to ask you in the time that we've worked together, what difference have we made working together when it comes to your sense of the numbers for the practice?
Well, starting out as an RDA, I didn't have to know the numbers because I was just chair side. And so stepping into this position, I got thrown into it because of being from office, RDA to an office manager. I didn't know what the numbers really were starting out. So you have opened my eyes to see that numbers are behind everything that we do in this office.
Yeah.
So that has really helped. And just know that the numbers are everything. And so understanding what the numbers are and what the numbers mean have really pushed me as a better office manager to know what we need and how to get it.
Yeah, and I think you're doing an awesome job because you know that there's a saying, I don't know if I came up with it, but we want to win the day, we want to win the week, we want to win the
Yeah.
month, we want to win the quarter, we want to win the year, and that means you've got to have a handle on your numbers, your most critical number, relating to the production goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
With regard to your providers as well as the hygiene team, right? And because the for a month to be the win, like any business, and for that matter, a household, you've got to have a positive growth to the bottom line. That you want the checkbook growing, you want the savings growing. And if that's not happening, then it creates stress. It
Mm-hmm.
creates stress for us at home. It creates stress for us for a business. So having that fundamental awareness of what are the really important numbers, how are we doing score wise? We call that the predictive number, right? And then once the game is over, if I lean over this way, you can see the word performative, right? How did we perform? Did we win or did
Mm-hmm.
we lose? And all of these numbers, here's the interesting thing is you don't have to go to business school or become a CPA to have a handle on it, right?
Yeah.
And here's the other part, it becomes fun,
Mm-hmm.
right? It really does become fun. And instead of having guessing and having feelings about guessing, you have facts. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have facts, and the facts are either generating good feelings or not so good feelings. So I will tell you that the progress that you've made in the time that we've been working together, I'm very happy with how dedicated you are. You're just so quick to jump on it and to learn and absorb. And I think for anyone in your position, I think you have to recognize life is constant and never-ending improvement. As
Yeah.
Tony Robbins says, we've got to keep learning. And I appreciate that about you. I think that's one of, again, going back to the values that you guys set as the practice. One of them was that you are always, as a team, you're always growing, you're always learning, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
no sitting still professionally with your team. And one of the other values was basically we've got each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for each other. That really resonated with me. And the vibe that is in your practice, it's a great culture. And particularly now that we're going into this major growth mode, it's very important that we really solidify the culture and we make it as strong as we can because when you get more people on the team, more people on the bus, number one, yeah, we want to make sure they're the right people, but we've also got to make sure that, boy, we're really able to communicate what that culture is. And not just, we want to live it, but we also want to be able to show people, what we mean by that when it comes to the values. When we look at another component, and I think this is one that I think you like, and that is the matter of issues. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know that with the leadership team, your cadence is you meet every 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
and it's for an hour and a half and you start on time and you end on time. And we look at the numbers, we look at the scorecard, and you've learned an approach from me for how you address issues.
Mm-hmm.
And coming out of that, tell us about that. What's that experience been like when in the past something would come up and X, Y, and Z happened versus now today? What's the difference?
Well, in the past, an issue would come up and we would talk about it and nothing would come from it. Nothing would ever happen. So the issue would just continuously stay there. and sometimes get worse, sometimes it'd fizzle out and everything would work out. But when we do it in our leadership meeting, we identify it, we discuss it, and we solve it. So that's one thing that comes out of our leadership meetings that is, there's not even a word for it. It just feels so gratifying and it feels like we're getting stuff done. And even with the leadership now team, like we see an issue that comes up, like, oh, we need to talk about it in our leadership meeting. So it has been able to keep us accountable, know that we have these issues discussed and figure them out together rather than letting just kind of sit there.
Yeah, and of course, here's the thing. We get to the root cause, right? And we identify what truly is the root cause.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is someone who takes responsibility. Either the fix is immediately implementable right there, or there's some homework that's got to get done. But
Yeah.
it's documented who is the person who is going to be now doing X, Y, and Z in relationship to that issue, and it's documented. We use software that it's all known, and then of course we have things that relate to the quarter. We have quarterly priorities, and those get assigned, and it's known. And we're checking in every time we have that 2 week meeting. How are we doing on the quarterlies, right? You can call them rocks, but it's what are we going to be doing here? Well, a quarterly priority might be, okay, improve our revenue per hour with our providers from here to here. It might be increase our case acceptance rate from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a quarterly priority, and there's someone that takes the lead in that. But knowing that it's been established and it's owned,
Yeah.
and we have a deadline for when we want to accomplish it, and we're checking in every 2 weeks. Where are we with this? There's that expression, you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah.
There is no hiding here. It's like, look, we're not going to study for the exam the night before the final. We're going
Yeah.
to learn as we go along. We're going to stay accountable and disciplined in how we do things. So that cadence of having the meetings every 2 weeks and having the quarterlies, and you're going to be coming up on your annual, and that's going to be a 2 day session with the leadership team. And all of this, what does it do? It creates a team that's happy, healthy, and whole. You're
Mm-hmm.
cohesive, you're accountable, you're disciplined. It spreads to the entire practice. And you know what it creates? And you tell me whether or not you've experienced this already. It creates a sense of certainty and calm that you didn't otherwise have. Does that
A
ring true
thousand
for you?
percent. Absolutely. We
Makes
absolutely.
life more predictable, more fun, and less stressful when it comes to the day in and day out, right?
Yeah, and it opens up communication for us across the board. We're all talking. We're here 8 hours a day. We are here more than we are with our families, and so being able to have that open communication and discuss the issues and be able to then discuss as a leadership team makes it so much worth it. I mean, it's night and day
You
difference.
in the time that you've been in the office manager position, I know there have been other people who've come in to provide coaching. And I'm just curious, what is it about the approach that we're taking together, that
Mhm.
I'm taking with you, that is really different relative to what you experienced in the past?
What we've experienced in the past is the other coaches come in and tell us what to do and tell us what we're doing wrong or how we need to fix it. When we're working with you, it's our ideas. You're
Mhm.
coaching us on how to get there, but it's our own ideas, like our core values. And so that's the huge difference for us is we're coming up with it,
Yeah.
but you're helping us track it down and figure it out and to solve it. So that's the main difference that we have. And we've already done so many strides in what we had before. So it's within this 6 months, we've seen such an improvement that we would have never gotten there if it wasn't for you.
Well, thank you for saying that. And that's really important to me because what we've been doing is laying the foundation for growth.
Hmm.
Now think about it. If I came in and immediately we're focused on growth, 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 growth,
Yeah.
it'd be like, well, wait a minute. Where's the foundation here?
Hmm.
Where are we going? And as you know, we sat down and in the process of how we approach things, it's like, what's our 10-year target? We created the values and the vision, but where do we want to be in 10 years?
Hmm.
Where do we want to be in 3 years? Where do we want to be in 1 year? And this is serious stuff. That's not just a 5, 10 minute conversation. You
Hmm.
guys, you rolled up the sleeves. We had the
Yeah.
coffee and the sandwiches, and we got through this, and it got documented, and it's now all in black and white for all of us to see, for the for to be now rolled out to the entire team.
Hmm.
And one of the key points is that you know, as I call it, the good ship, Randy Johnson, right? It, it's going to keep sailing, bigger and better, right? And we know that doctors is part-time in the practice. He's now a CEO of the practice,
Hmm.
and he's able to mentor in a way that he's not been able to do in the past. I know he's so excited. I'm excited for him, excited for you guys, because
Hmm.
he's a true master in dentistry. That guy's been through, this gentleman, pardon my casual expression. This is a dentist who's been very serious
Yeah.
about knowledge and becoming a jack of all trades, a master at everything. And kudos to him. And I think he's a role model for everybody in dentistry, whether you're a clinician or not. It's recognize this is, again, lifetime learning. We want to become the best you can be, right?
Hmm.
You make it to the NBA, you're not necessarily the best you can be as a rookie. No,
Yeah.
you should be getting better, right?
Hmm.
And Steph Curry, his dribbling, his shooting got better over the course of his career because of he worked at it, he practiced it, he applied himself. So, it's great to be in a practice where there is this commitment, starting with the founder of the practice, Dr. Johnson, and that is now permeating throughout the practice that, hey, we're all going to go from good to great.
Hmm.
You're just in the middle of that with regard to the phone. And that relates to a component that we didn't touch on yet, which is process. You now are defining, here's the process of
Hmm.
how we answer the phone. It's not a casual thing. We have a technique for it, right? And that's what your team is going through, because we want people, when they call your office, it's like, yeah, the feeling you get when you go to Disneyland or you go
Yeah.
into a Ritz-Carlton. It's like, these people are wonderful.
Hmm.
They're so warm and kind and pleasant, because when people contact the practice, we want them to go, I'm really glad I called the good ship Randy Johnson. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that first appointment. So that's
Mhm.
process, right? You have to have a process for these things. And then again, that last component is execution. So all of that are the major components. But again, here's the other thing that I love about what we do and our working together. We get in the weeds, like
Yeah.
like when it comes to the phone training that your team's going through. We work together and we found what appears to be the best system out there for phone
Hmm.
training. And by the way, it's from the folks at Mango, the phone people. It's called Have Them at Hello, and
Hmm.
we endorse it. It uses AI to help with the training. And you're going through it. I'm going through it
Yep.
myself, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I think you've been through the whole thing,
Yep.
and it's already making a difference, right,
Hmm.
with your team. And again, they're going to go from good to great. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for your time today. I can't wait to come back with you and Doctor together,
Yeah.
6 months from now, and we'll check in again together. We'll get the three of us together, and we'll talk about, okay, where have we gone in the last 6 months? That'll be fun to do as well. Are
Yeah.
you
That'll be
game? Are you
exciting.
game for that?
Of course. Can't
Well,
wait.
thank you so much. And in closing, do you have any other thoughts that you'd like to share about your experience working with me in the Champion Dentist program?
I just want to thank you because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be where we are at, and we're not even all the way to great yet. So you have given me and my staff the confidence that we know we can get there. So I just wanted to say how much appreciative and how much I thank you.
Well, I appreciate you too. You know that. I think, here's the key thing, guys and gals listening, is like, look, it, any great player has to be coachable.
Uh-huh.
You make it to the pros, guess what? You're coachable. You're willing to take advice and teaching and a little bit of productive feedback, all of that. The very best in the world are coachable. And Ashley, you and your team, to your credits, all of you, you maintain an open mind. And that was one of the things we worked on from the very beginning was just,
Mhm.
hey guys, let's be open and honest. Let's just be always open and honest because we're in this together. We're in it to win it. And
Mhm.
let's have fun in the process. And so I just want you to know that degree of accountability and discipline that starting with you and everybody else has, I really appreciate it. You make it so much easier for me than it would
Well,
be
thanks.
otherwise.
Thanks. We fell in love with you the first time we met you, so we
Uh,
knew it was going to be a good ride.
likewise. I know we are fans of each other, and you know what? That's the way it should be. We should
Yeah.
really have an appreciation and affection for each other. That's what life's all about.
Mhm.
Guys, gals, thank you so much for joining us in this latest episode of the Champion Dentist. If you'd like to know more about what I'm up to with my colleagues at the Champion Dentist and Gold Medal Dental Marketing, it's all in the episode notes. Until next time, Ashley, thank you. Everyone, take care. See you again soon. Cheers.